Dear students, today we will discuss what do you mean by leadership. So many times you pronounce word leader but if you want to explain what do you mean by leadership, I feel that most of us will not be able to define what do you mean by leader. And frequently we use the word leader. But the basic question is, what do you mean by leadership? Some of you will say that it is ability to lead. Some of you will explain the leadership as the basic prerequisite for management, and maybe some other definitions you may give. But in real sense, the leadership is capacity to influence. Now the question arises, what is influence? If you see, influence is capacity of a person to mold the opinion of followers. Now, who can be the leader and who can be the follower? The person who can influence the opinion of others is a leader. If you put it in the equation, the leadership is a function of situational variables and followers. If a function of leadership is performed anywhere, there are two prerequisites. Number one is situation and second is followers. So in different situations, the capacity of a leader to influence the opinion of others is function of leadership. Now the question arises, from where this capacity to influence come. You see, capacity to influence comes when your followers are ready to accept the opinion posed by you. It means that if you can impose or can make them to understand or to influence them to come to your viewpoint, that is the function of leadership. You see, capacity to influence comes when your opinion is Number one, it is recognized. Number two, if it is a valid opinion. So the area of acceptance of a leader depends on the issues which a leader wants to make acceptable. Now, what are the resources of that very capacity to influence? In other words, if you put it in formal language, you say it is a formal power. As you see, the electric power can move certain objects with the energy. So, power in this very reference is that this person can channelize the energies of others. This person can focus the efforts of other persons or group on a particular or a specific point or a specific object, or toward a motive. If I can channelize the energies of others to a specific motives or an object, it means I do have a capacity to motivate. Means this person can channelize the energies of other persons on a particular object or a particular motive. In business situations, it is very much required that we have certain goals or objects is to be achieved by an organization. So we do have strategic goals, strategic objects, functional objectives, and day-to-day objectives or goals. So we require a person who can focus or channelize the energies of others to that very specific object. Now, how this person gathers this sort of power to influence the behavior of others? What are the resources by which this person can gather or gain the powers to influence the decisions of others? One very common source of power is your legitimate power. Legitimate means you are formally authorized to influence the behavior of others. For example, if you are general manager of an institution or if you are a general manager of an organization, certain power are vested in you that you can order a certain person to perform a job. But again, one thing is lacking. That is the willingness of that very person to perform that very job. Legitimate power gives you the only formal power to influence the decision of others. But implementation or compliance depends on your area of acceptance, whether that subordinate or follower believes you and willingly contribute or perform that job as per the standards required by you. So the combination of formal authority and informal authority, this brings the real results. Only formal power cannot do, only informal power cannot do. I have explained to you that what do you mean by power. That is capacity to influence the behaviors of others. So legitimate authority, and what do you mean by informal authority? Now the question arises, whether you are exemplary, whether do you have a reference behavior, whether you have some exemplary or ideal qualities with you, so that in a natural way the other persons or the followers follow you naturally. As you see, Mahatma Gandhi, he was not possessing anything, but his behavior and conduct was such. His speech was so soft. He was tuned to the principles. He never violated the principle laid down by the society or by mythological heroes. So, that is what the natural authority or the natural power to influence comes in. Without rewarding anybody, without giving anything to anybody, they have capacity to influence, and that is called the charismatic authority. Being so exemplary, being so attractive, being so principled, everybody wants to be the follower of that very person. You see, that is what the structure of authority is. First, the formal authority. Second is informal authority. And third is charismatic authority. So the charismatic authority need not to strike on needs. All the theories of motivation, they cry about the basic needs of human beings. Most of the thinkers, they concentrate on the needs of others. If you fulfill those needs, you are bound to get results, or their loyalties, or they may follow you. But in charismatic authority, the things are different. Peoples are departing their belongings. They are going to jails. They are giving something to the leader. But they know that leader don't have any personal motive. This belief motivate them to a particular object which is social in nature, that was independence, and they followed Gandhi like anything. It means it was within the definition of leadership. But in the present context, the leadership we are studying is not of that sort. We are studying with a viewpoint that how a leader can concentrate, can motivate, can bring others near to objectives and focus their efforts on a particular object. So today we have defined what do you mean by leadership. Second, what is the function of leadership. Third, what is influence. Fourth is source of power. And fifth, we have studied today that there is one source of power, that is formal power or legitimate power. Second is influence generated by a leader by his way of conduct, that is informal power. And third, we have studied the charismatic leadership. In the next session, we will study what are various sources of leadership, what are the qualities of a leader, and lastly we will study whether the leadership is inherited or a hereditary phenomena, or whether it can be inculcated in a person, means whether when our heredity is not allowing us to be a leader. So it's a debatable question although, but we will study the various scientific studies which proves that yes, leader can be developed. Thank you.